Hey Cancers! So it's me Alexis. Oh my god, I shook the camera. Hello Cancers, it's me Alexis. Welcome back to my astrology channel, and today I'm going to give you guys a full moon horoscope for the full moon upcoming on the 15th. It's going to be at 22 degrees Aquarius, and I will go ahead and tell you guys what the heck is going to happen, or what you gotta look out for. So yeah, this will apply if you are a Cancer sun or rising, mostly rising. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. So Cancers, Leo rules your second house and Aquarius rules your 8th house. So there's going to be an opposition between your sun and moon, or the transiting sun and moon, in the second house and the 8th house. On top of that, Venus over here is super buddy-buddy with the sun and is super conjunct to the sun. So there's a lot going on in your second house right now, and they're all opposing the moon. And on top of that, the current Saturn is going to be in Capricorn, which will put Saturn in your 7th house. The reason why I'm talking about Saturn in this full moon horoscope is because Saturn is going to be the lord of your 8th house, which is where the full moon is happening. So, you gotta let the room owner know what the heck is going on, what's going on. So, yeah. So, with the sun and Venus and Leo in your second house, I think that this has been a time for you to really, build yourself up. I mean, psychologically, I think the second house covers self-esteem. It kind of covers, how you secure yourself. On a literal level, it can, represent money. So, the ching-ching. So, yeah, as of right now, psychologically, if this applies to you psychologically, this may have been a time for you to really, have some self-esteem with yourself and really just, value yourself. Like, this is a time where you're trying to sit down and just kind of be like, okay, who am I really? If I can find who I am, then I can value myself. And then if I can value myself, I can feel secure with myself. And that's great. And then on a literal level, when it comes to your money spending habits, maybe you've been trying to focus on your habits in such a way where you're trying to designate your habits in such a way where, it's reflective of who you are. So, like, if someone were to tie your money habits to you as a person, you're trying to work on it in such a way where, like, you would be proud of yourself. So, I don't know, maybe you're saving up money, or maybe you're spending more extravagantly. Whatever you think defines you as a person. Because with Leo's a lot about, stabilizing your identity. And your sun's in the second house right now, so you've been really, focused on it. And then with Venus is a connecting kind of planet. It's the planet of connections and relationships. So maybe this could be, manifesting as you trying to connect with people who really, amp up your self-esteem, or hanging out with people who really, people who really let you feel comfortable with yourself, or people who are, people, I was about to say people who help you with your spending habits, which could be true, but, people who, are really helping you in the money department. I don't know, maybe a sugar daddy, whatever it could be. So, yeah. Now, this full moon is happening in your 8th house. Now, the 8th house is the house of death and taxes and debt. So, all the good stuff, right? No. So, with that in mind, so lately you've been building up yourself, you've been receiving and gaining and stabilizing, you've been, I don't know, maybe you're doing good with your money, or maybe you're doing well with your self-esteem. And then the 8th house, this full moon thing, like, it's looking at you and being like, hey, you've been working a lot on receiving and gaining things, but you want to know what it's like to lose things? Like, Okay, sorry. Okay, basically, the second house is the house of gaining. It's the house of, building yourself up. And, with the 8th house being, being the opposing house, if the second house is building, the 8th house is the house of demolishing. It's like, putting the building down. And a full moon in Aquarius is letting you know that, like, hey, if you can build yourself up, you can also destroy yourself too. Neat. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why I'm like this. But that's something that you gotta focus on with this full moon in Aquarius. Because, you can, yes, you can definitely build yourself up. You can secure yourself. Being a Cancer rising, you're just kind of like, I want familiarity. I want security. I want things to be familiar. I want things to work out. And yeah, you've been working on that by, validating yourself, being confident in yourself, doing all that stuff, valuing yourself. However, there's gonna be points in life where, like, if life is about building yourself up, it's also about, demolishing yourself. Sometimes you build things the wrong way, and sometimes things are meant to go. And the full moon wants you to know that. It wants to remind you of that. And that can manifest with, with death. So, like, maybe, like, hopefully not losing a loved one. It could maybe, it can manifest as debt. Maybe you suddenly owe someone some money. And, basically, life is not just about receiving and building. It's also about giving and sacrificing and losing, losses. That's what I think of. And that's what you need to remember when it comes to this full moon. The reason why you might want to remember this is because the transiting Saturn is in your 7th house. Because a lot of this will give you perspective on relationships. So Saturn has been transiting your 7th house now, and the 7th house is the house of relationships. It's the house of, relating to other people, connecting to other people, marriages, enemies, all the one-on-one relationship stuff. And by having this perspective that, like, you can lose people, you can lose money, you could lose things, it'll give you a more nuanced and mature perspective when it comes to relationships. As of right now with Leo season, you've been working on yourself and your relationship with yourself, but this full moon is going to serve as a reminder for you to kind of pay attention to your relationships with other people too. Because, this is kind of like a lesson for you in terms of knowing about giving and taking. If there's going to be giving in life, there's going to be taking also. Like, as of right now, you've been learning how to take things, you've been learning how to, receive things for your own value, but at the same time, you're gonna also have to learn how to let things go. And if you can learn that, then you can have more mature, practical, realistic relationships as dictated by your Saturn in the 7th house. So, that's the astrological bit. I'm gonna go ahead and do the tarot reading now. So, let me go ahead and do the little shuffle. Okay. So, like with all the other signs, this is going to be a 3-card reading where I kind of give you guys a little 3 somethings of what you guys got to know for this full moon coming up. Oh no, that's 2 cards. I'm only accepting 1 card drops, so. Okay, Cancer, let's see what we got for you. Oh? Okay. Okay, so I got the Knight of Coins, Judgment. Gemini also got that card earlier, and 2 of Swords. Let me look at this for a second. Okay, so here it goes. So with the Knight of Coins, this makes sense. Like, for the past, for a while now, with the Sun, Venus conjunction in Leo, you've been focused on, gaining that, sense of self-worth. And with the Knight of Coins, it shows that you've been persevering. It's been a slow but steady journey. Like, you've been working on trying to secure yourself. When I see the Knights, I think of someone who's been actively working to kind of like gain a sense of stability and sense of security, and you've been going at it. Like, you make some mistakes and falls here and there, but you are making progress. Like, you are working to secure yourself and stabilize yourself. Now, however, though, I think this full moon is kind of focused on, letting you have a taste of your future, perhaps a future where you're, where you do gain stability and, groundedness within yourself. Like, eventually, when you have, a sense of grounding, what are you gonna do with that, grounded sense of yourself? And with the Judgment card, this kind of shows like the next step. So you've been working lately to stabilize yourself and to really value yourself, and that's going to go largely into play into how you judge your environment and other people. Now, I think this is extremely applicable to, people in your relationships right now. So like people in your life. And because of this, when it comes to your self-worth, when it comes to like, money and like securing yourself, you have to make some decisions and judgments about what you should give, what you should take, what you should receive, and what you should lose. And I think the Judgment card is telling you like, hey, when you have that grounded sense of self, your next step now is gonna, make some big decisions, and that's gonna be the Judgment card. Now, here's the problem. If you've been exclusively like focusing on receiving and, taking things and just stabilizing yourself, you're going to be in a bad pickle because, with the Two of Swords, when I see this, I feel like this is someone who is struggling with indecision. This is a person who doesn't quite know what they're doing and they don't quite know what to choose, or they low-key know the right choice, but like they're too scared to go at it. And I think like this card to me for this particular spread is about, this is the threshold of you deciding whether you want to hold your boundaries or not. So, and this is gonna, it's implied that, I think this is implied in terms of your relationships. So you're going to meet people who are going to test your stability, they're going to test your boundaries, they're going to test your self-worth and how much you respect yourself. And hopefully, if you've been working hard enough, like, you got that sense of self-worth. But however, here's the thing, you've been working a lot when it comes to navigating your own self-worth and your own, sense of security, but you're not the only person who has to work on that. Other people in your life have to do that too. Other people are working to secure themselves also. And a lot of problems in life happen when people's, sense of security and like self-worth, a lot of it happens when they start to clash with each other, and you're stuck at this threshold where you're sitting here going, am I going to lose something or am I going to gain something? And in order for you to know the answer to that question, not only should you focus on securing yourself, you should also consider what other people are trying to secure for themselves. And if you can, find that out, if you can, navigate through your power dynamics with other people wisely, then you're gonna have a more nuanced, mature perspective on the relationships in your life. So, you're making progress on the work that you're doing for yourself, but the next step now is, taking that work and applying it to other people when it comes to your relationships. Because I will say this, if you've been working so hard, so freaking hard to, tell yourself that you're worth it and you are worth it. However, all that work will go down if you don't make the right choices and if you just happen to be with the wrong person. Like, all of that hard work on asserting yourself and just securing yourself can go out the window if you don't meet the right people. And this full moon is telling you right now that you've got to learn how to navigate through that. And it starts by not exclusively just paying attention to yourself. There's other things to pay attention to. So, yeah, that's your reading, Cancer. Again, this will apply if you are a Cancer sun or rising. And yeah, I hope this all resonates. And yeah, I hope you guys like the video.